If you're a buyer considering going it alone, doing it yourself, not having an agent, representing yourself, finding a property, negotiating directly with an owner or a listing agent, let me give you a little bit of advice. And this is advice I gave a good friend of mine who is leaving our area, and he is moving up to where his family is, and he's going to be building a home up there. He's working with an agent, and the question came up because he's decided to build. So the agent's worked, connected him with a builder. They've been working through this process together, now on the hunt for land. So the question came from him was, I've been connected with a family friend who has a piece of land that could be a really good fit. And I've talked to them, we've kind of talked terms, and I'm just curious, should I bring my agent in on this part of the process? So new construction is a little different, but let me kind of frame this out in terms of how I discuss this with him. So I just started asking him questions. So, where are you in the process? What are the next steps? How are you going to work through closing this with them? What are your due diligence steps going to be? And there was a lot of things that he had not yet even considered. So no fault of his own, he just hasn't done this before. And so my question first was, hey, go to your agent, or recommendation was go to your agent, talk to her, bring her in on the situation, be open, and tell her, like, this is where we're at. I don't know how they're going to feel about bringing you in, but what I advised him is you want to make sure you are properly represented. You want to make sure you're not skipping a step that's going to cost you dollars on end, or issues, or be stuck with a property that you can't actually build on, right? So as an agent, I've been through this process. Hopefully his agent has as well. I don't know their qualifications per se, but it's something very important to think through, is what steps do I not know, or what are those pitfalls that I've never experienced yet? And so as a brokerage, what we do is we collaborate every time there's an issue, and we put a policy, or we put a step in our processes in place, so that we avoid those happening again and again and again, right? Because I've experienced issues, I know what to look for the next go round. Kind of reminds me of the insurance company, Farmers. We've seen a thing or two. Same here. We've seen a thing or two. We've seen the issues. So I just want you to be thinking about that when you're talking about going unrepresented. Two, I'll oftentimes as a listing agent get called, and somebody will say, hey, I'm only working with listing agents. And it's almost a badge of honor. And that's great. My concern is that they may or may not know what they're getting into, right? And so the question is, what are my responsibilities as a listing agent if I know for a fact they're missing a step, right? I still have obligations as of the state, but I feel bad that they are not properly represented. And I make that recommendation often, even if they're calling on something and want to work with me directly, and it's financially beneficial when that happens. Yet there's still that ultimate concern that we get to the end of the thing, and they say, hey, I feel like this didn't go well, or I feel like I wasn't properly represented. I want you to have somebody in your corner you trust, who can avoid you making mistakes and get you the best possible deal, or just the best possible ultimate outcome, right? Sometimes just getting through the contract and closing process smoothly is a massive undertaking. And so make sure you've got somebody in your corner you know, like, and trust, or has been recommended to you. I'd love to be that person if you're considering making a purchase of any sort. We'd love to have that conversation.